Now on News Channel 6 and 6, an 80-year-old robbed at gunpoint at Augusta Mall. We'll hear from the victim.
Also had teaching children how to surf the web, how the Cyber Patriot Camp is helping them safely navigate the internet.
And FBI raids at a pair of Georgia churches. We'll have the latest details as your news at 6 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is Wjbf News Channel 6 at 6.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Brad Means.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you for joining us.
Coverage you can count on begins tonight with breaking news out of Augusta. Investigators got a call to the Azalea Park Apartments about an unresponsive woman in a car. Well, when they got there, they say they found 57-year-old Tammy Mantooth dead. They say this case is considered suspicious. There's going to be an autopsy. We'll keep you posted.
Coverage you can count on continues now with an 80-year-old woman recovering after police say she was robbed at gunpoint at Augusta Mall.
And in broad daylight, News Channel 6's Dernisa Jefferson spoke to the victim today. Dernisa live outside the mall with details.
Brad, the victim tells me that assault happened at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the parking lot at the Augusta Mall. And she says that's something she never expected to happen in broad daylight.
So it is really scary and unnerving.
Some people are on edge after an 80-year-old woman was robbed at gunpoint at the Augusta Mall.
And it just seems like crime is on the rise.
And I've been down to that mall once, and after reading the news break on the phone, I was like, I'm not going back there. It's just dangerous.
Investigators say the victim was in the upper-level parking lot around 3 o'clock in the afternoon when a man pointed a gun at her and said he would shoot her.
And then he took out a gun. Took out a gun and pointed it at me and said, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Give me the purse.
He stole her bag with her cell phone and wallet inside, and when she fought back, he hit her in the head with the gun.
Even in broad daylight, where you would think that maybe someone would see something happening, that's not always the case.
It's enough to make some people not want to shop at the mall.
I'm disabled, and so I would not want to I'd be a target. And so I'm like, I'm not going there.
While investigators are still searching for the suspect, some people say there needs to be more security at the mall.
The security guards need to speed up the efforts of getting around checking each parking lot.
I think there needs to be more that they can look into as far as, enhancing law enforcement or hiring more police officers and patrolling.
We spoke to an Augusta Mall representative who says there are security measures in place, including a K-9 that checks for guns inside the mall. However, since this incident took place in the parking lot, that's where some shoppers say they want to see more security.
They need to be undercover security. They can't have their patrol car marking them, because if I see the patrol car, I'm not going to commit the crime.
Investigators are still searching for the suspect involved in this case. They say he left the mall in a silver or tan sedan with no license plate and the front two hubcaps missing. Reporting live in Augusta, Dernisa Jefferson, WJBF, News Channel 6.
It is time now for a first check of the forecast.
Here's Chief Meteorologist.
But then we're going to talk about a better chances of rain headed our way. We'll detail all that out with your forecast in just a few minutes. Jenny Brett.
All right, Tim, thank you. Kids are staying busy at the Georgia Cyber Center, learning more about how to safely navigate the internet. News Channel 6's Bria Smith is live at the Nathan Deal campus after speaking to campers. Bria?
75 children across the CSRA attended this week's summer camp and had the chance to learn more about the cyber world. Children from Georgia, South Carolina, and the Boys and Girls Club all had the opportunity to be a part. The program was free for children to attend and ranged from ages 10 to 16 years old. Those kids say they're learning a lot.
We learned about how the Linux command line works, which commands we could do on there. And I also learned about some stuff that could happen to your computer, like malware.
The camp's last day will be tomorrow until they pick up again in Aiken for the second half of the summer. Reporting live in downtown Augusta, Bria Smith, WJBF, News Channel 6.
3 Barnwell County students being honored today for the hard work and dedication they displayed to get their diplomas. Tanisha Goodwin, Raekwon Odom, and Mercedes Harley live in the Beaver Dam Apartments in Blackville. The trio recognized for graduating from Blackville Hilda High School and Fort Ease University. The community came together at the Blackville Community Center. The South Carolina Regional Housing Authority put on this event. Goodwin graduated as valedictorian.
It took a lot of late nights and studying, hard work, and self-discipline. And sometimes I had to sacrifice getting sleep after work and coming home to do work for school. So it's been some long nights, but it was worth it.
Goodwin is going to attend USC Upstate and plans to become a dentist.
Federal investigators were at a local church this morning. A large police presence, including the FBI, was seen early this morning at the Assembly of Prayer Church on Old Tobacco Road in Hephzibah. It's not clear why those investigators were there. A spokesperson for the FBI says agents are executing a court-authorized search warrant. We're working to find out more information about what that investigation is, and we'll share it with you when we know.
Well, that FBI spokesperson confirming that raid connected to a similar one at a church down in Liberty County, Georgia. That was at the House of Prayer Church in Hinesville this morning. Joanne Merrigan has more.
Federal agents converging on the House of Prayer Christian Church about 8 o'clock Thursday morning. The FBI provided no details on the reason for the search warrant or what they're looking for. At one point, a group of people from inside the building were outside, apparently under guard. It's not known if these are congregation members. Many in the community say they've heard of this church.
And most people, when people say the church on Airport Road, they say that church is kind of like.
Jeffrey Lewis says the church is considered controversial.
You may think they're cultish ways because of their dressing and how they move. So if you don't know nothing about it, yeah, we present it as a cult. Come from what you see on TV. You understand what I'm saying? But as far as knowing anything in depth in there, no. I've heard plenty of stories from people that when they visit.
In 2017, some people protested the church, saying that they were not being allowed to see their loved ones. The church pastor at the time said that congregation members were free to come and go as they chose. It's not known if this had anything to do with the raid on Thursday. Chris Chandler says he's heard lots of things about the church, but he also says that he has met some people in the congregation.
I've worked with some people, and I've known some people that have gone to the congregation or they're part of it. They're very happy. They enjoy it. You know, it's a part of life for them, and they love it.
The FBI is not providing a timetable on when more information about the search warrant may be made public. At this point, no arrests have been made.
Coming up, a decision made on a restrictive gun law in New York.
We're going to tell you about the court's decision on the more than 100-year-old ruling. But first, a look at what's ahead on News Nation.
Tonight on Dan Abrams Live.
Coming up, a decision made on a restrictive gun law in New York.
We're going to tell you about the court's decision on the more than 100-year-old ruling. But first, a look at what's ahead on News Nation.
Tonight on Dan Abrams Live on News Nation. Tons of hyperbole on a new gun bill and a new Supreme Court decision on guns. And yet, neither the bill nor the court's ruling are as sweeping as the fearmongers on both sides would have you believe. That's tonight on Dan Abrams Live.
And that's all coming up on the fastest growing cable news network in America, News Nation. You can find it on these local channels.
The Supreme Court ruling today that Americans have the right to carry guns in public for self-defense. It is a vote that struck down a New York gun law that banned concealed handguns outside of homes. Gun rights activists say the ruling is a major win for gun owners in the state. Opponents, though, say no, it makes it easier for criminals to commit acts of violence.
We're hoping that this is going to stop the persecution of lawful and legal gun owners in New York State.
Instead of working to protect our communities, this court has made it even easier for potentially dangerous people to carry concealed handguns in public spaces.
The court voted against the law 6-3.
And Tim Miller is back at the desk for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, Tim.
WJBF.com. It's free to do so.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that.
Coming Coming up, the Braves closing out their series with the Giants.
And former Greenbrier standout Chase Gallagher reflecting on his breakout season at Tennessee. In sports.
The Farmer's Forecast on WJBF News Channel 6 is sponsored by Mecco. Service makes the difference. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
Atlanta reclaimed their series with San Francisco after Adam Duvall's walk-off single Wednesday night as they won 43 back out of Truist Park to close things out Thursday afternoon. Now midday game, so you know the temperatures were rising. What was also hot was the bat of Dansby Swanson. This one, bottom of the first, Swanson goes deep to center left, and this one leaves the yard, so it's 1-0 Braves. Bottom of the second, now no outs, bases loaded. Michael Harris with the base hit to right. That scores 2 more. Braves, they lead 3-1 now. Same inning. Bases back, juice for Travis d'Arnaud, and this is a dribbler, and he returns the favor, scoring 2 more. Braves up 5-1. But bottom of the fourth, Dansby Swanson up again, and this one no different from the first one, as he's going to touch them all. It's his 7th career multi-homer game. Braves going to win 7-6. So Atlanta, they moved to 18-3 in the month of June. However, now they will host the Los Angeles Dodgers, and Freddie Freeman in his first return in a Dodgers jersey for a 3-game series. Game 1 beginning tomorrow. Now staying on the diamond, former Greenbrier pitcher Chase Dolander, who transferred from Georgia Southern after his freshman year, made the most of his sophomore season at the University of Tennessee. Dolander had 10 wins as the ace for the Vols and racked up plenty of accolades such as the SEC Pitcher of the Year and the first-team All-American team, just to name a couple. Now he's getting ready for his summer break.
It's hard to put into words what the season that we had. You know, a lot of people hate us because of the way we played, but in our eyes, we kind of grew the game in a way, and you know, a lot of people kind of saw the game differently than because of us, I would say. But yeah, this season was just one to remember, and I think everybody's gonna remember it for a long time. My summer for right now is just kind of chill and just kind of, you know, get stronger, work on what I need to work on in the off season, just so I can, you know, get prepared for the next season and hopefully get prepared for the draft.
So he did not watch a lick of the College World Series, but I have to admit that Ole Miss is now going to play Oklahoma in the final on Saturday. I'm super excited. But here is a quick look at the Travelers Championship from TBC River Highlands. Rory leading the way at 8 under, and a handful of locals right there in contention. Charles Howell, Matthew Neesmith, Kevin Kisser, Luke Liss, and ARC's Grayson Sig also still in contention.
Thanks. Well, yeah, hotty toddy, Colin. It ended just in time. Otherwise, you might have skipped.
I would not be standing here.
I would not have blamed you.
I would have